Imagine standing at the airport check-in counter. Your bags are packed. Your excitement for that long-awaited cruise or family reunion is at an all-time high, and you hand over your passport just like you have done for the last 30 years. But this time, the agent looks at the screen, looks back at you, and says those four words that can ruin a vacation in an instant. I cannot clear you.
You point to the expiration date, which clearly shows you have 3 months left. You show your driver's license as a backup. But as of January 2026, the rules of the game have fundamentally changed. And what used to be a simple formality is now a high-tech barrier that is catching thousands of travelers, especially seniors, completely off guard. If you haven't looked at your passport through the lens of the new 2026 regulations, you are essentially gambling with your travel plans. The first and most critical shift we have to talk about is the final hardline enforcement of the Real ID Act combined with the new TSA conferment system. For nearly 2 decades, we've heard that the Real ID deadline was coming, only for it to be pushed back again and again. Well, that grace period officially ended in 2025, and as we enter 2026, the TSA has moved from a policy of education to a policy of enforcement. If your driver's license does not have that gold or black star in the corner, it is no longer a valid form of identification for domestic flights. You might think, that is fine. I will just use my passport for everything. But here is the 2026 trap, because so many people fail to get their real IDs in time. The volume of people using passports for domestic travel has surged by over 400%. This has led to a massive increase in wear and tear on passport books. And the new automated biometric gates at security checkpoints are far less forgiving than human agents used to be in the past. A slightly frayed edge or a small water spot on your passport's photo page might have been overlooked. In 2026, the scanners use high-resolution multispectral imaging. If the digital read of your biometric chip or the optical scan of your machine-readable zone is even slightly obscured, the gate will not open. For seniors who have carried the same passport for 8 or 9 years, the natural degradation of the document is now a leading cause of boarding denials. The TSA is no longer just checking if you are who you say you are. They are checking if the document meets the 2026 technical integrity standards. If your passport doesn't snap into the scanner perfectly, you are being sent to a secondary verification line that, in major hubs like Chicago, Atlanta, or Dallas, could have wait times exceeding 2 hours. This brings us to the 6-month rule, which has become the absolute silent killer of 2026 travel plans. For years, we were told it was a good idea to have 6 months of validity left on your passport. In 2026, many international destinations and even several cruise lines have made this an automated hard stop. The booking systems are now linked directly to the Department of State's database. If you try to book a flight for June and your passport expires in August, the system might let you buy the ticket. But the Advanced Passenger Information System will flag you 48 hours before departure. Seniors often fall into this trap because they remember the old days, when you could travel right up until the day of expiration. Those days are gone. If you have less than 6 months of validity as of today, you should consider your passport expired. While you are processing that, I want to ask you to do something that will help you stay informed as these travel landscapes continue to shift. If you find this level of deep dive analysis valuable, please hit that subscribe button and share this with your travel companions or your family. We are living in an era where the rules change faster than the brochures can be printed. And being part of this community is the best way to ensure you never get left behind at the gate. We are constantly monitoring these policy shifts, so you don't have to. Now, let's talk about the European Travel Information and Authorization System, or ETIAS, which has officially reached full implementation here in the beginning of 2026. If you are planning a trip to Italy, France, Spain, or any of the 30 European countries in the Schengen area. Your passport alone is no longer enough. You now need a digital travel authorization before you even step on the plane. For seniors, the ETIAS rollout has been particularly confusing because it is not a visa, but it functions like one. You have to apply online, providing a significant amount of personal and background information, and link the authorization to your specific passport number. The 2026 ETIAS rules have a few specific quirks for the 70-plus demographic. While the application fee is waived for those over 70, the scrutiny is not. The system uses AI to cross-reference your data with Interpol and various European security databases. One common issue we are seeing is name mismatch. If your passport says Robert, but your airline ticket or your ETIAS application says Bob, the system will reject the link. In the old days, you could explain this to a gate agent. In 2026, the computer simply sees two different identities. If your ETIAS isn't perfectly synced with your passport's digital chip, the airline is prohibited by international law from allowing you to board. You won't even get to the security line. You'll be stopped at the check-in desk. Furthermore, we have to discuss the physical state of the 2026 passport. The Department of State has moved almost entirely to the Next Generation Passport, or NGP. These have a polycarbonate data page. It feels like a credit card, and enhanced security features. If you are still carrying the old style with the flexible paper photo page, you are more likely to face delays. The new 2026 scanners are optimized for the polycarbonate pages, while the old books are still legally valid until they expire. They are increasingly difficult to use in the automated kiosks that are becoming the standard at international arrivals. If you are a senior traveler who finds long lines physically taxing, the best thing you can do for yourself in 2026 is to renew your passport early, just to get the next generation book. It allows you to use the fast-track lanes that the old books often cannot access. Another major change starting January 1st involves the digital selfie requirement for passport renewals to combat identity theft and the rise of AI-generated deepfakes. The State Department has updated its online renewal portal. You can no longer just upload any old photos. The new system requires a live check photo taken through your computer or smartphone camera. During the application process, it uses liveness detection to ensure you are a real human being at that moment. For many seniors who aren't as comfortable with smartphone technology, this has been a major hurdle. If you try to bypass this or upload a scanned physical photo, your application will be flagged for manual review, which currently adds an additional 4 to 6 weeks to the processing time. Speaking of processing times, don't let the headlines fool you. While the State Department says 4 to 6 weeks, the 2026 reality is different. We are seeing a renewal wave because the 10-year passports issued during the post-pandemic travel boom are all hitting their middle or late stages at once. If you are planning a trip in the summer of 2026, you should be applying for your renewal right now in January. The mailing time trap is still very real. The government's clock starts when they receive the application, not when you mail it. In 2026, with the Postal Service changes, it can take 2 weeks for your old passport to reach the processing center, and another 2 weeks for the new one to reach you. That turns a 6-week window into a 10-week window very quickly. For my senior viewers, there is also the signature evolution issue. This is something almost no one talks about, but it is causing real problems in 2026. As we age, our handwriting can change due to arthritis or other factors. The new biometric scanners in 2026 compare the signature on your passport to the digital signature you provide at the kiosk or on your ETIAS application. If there is a significant graphic deviation, the system may flag the document as potentially fraudulent. If your signature has changed significantly since you last renewed your passport, -1 or 9 years ago. You may want to consider a fresh renewal. It sounds like a small detail, but in an automated world, small details are the difference between a vacation and a nightmare. Let's also touch on the new entry-exit system, or EES, in Europe. This has replaced the old-fashioned ink stamps. Many of us love looking at our passports and seeing the stamps from our travels. It's like a scrapbook of our lives. But as of 2026, stamps are a thing of the past in most developed countries. Instead, your entry and exit are tracked by a facial scan and a digital record. This is actually a benefit for seniors because it reduces the passport page fatigue. You don't have to worry about running out of pages. However, it means your digital compliance is now being tracked across borders. If you overstay your 19-day limit in Europe by even a few hours because of a flight delay, that is now a permanent mark on your digital record. In the past, you might have slipped through with a wink from a friendly officer. In 2026, the computer knows exactly when you left, and it will automatically block your ETIAS authorization for future travel. This leads us to the medical travel exception. Many seniors travel for specialized treatments or extended stays in warmer climates for health reasons. In 2026, the rules for extended stays have become much more rigid. If you plan to be out of the country for more than 90 days, you cannot rely on a standard passport and ETIAS. You must apply for a specific national visa for the country you are visiting. The 2026 enforcement systems are now linked between the airlines and the border authorities. If you have a return ticket that is 19 days after your arrival, the airline system will flag you at the gate in the United States, and you will be denied boarding unless you can show the proper visa. They are no longer letting people figure it out once they arrive. So, what is the 2026 action plan for seniors? First, go get your passport right now. Don't just look at the expiration date. Look at the physical condition. Is the cover peeling? Is the gold foil on the front faded? Is there any delamination on the photo page? If you see any physical damage, it is a damaged document in the eyes of the 2026 scanners. Second, check the 6-month rule for your specific destination. Don't just trust a general website. Go to the official embassy page of the country you are visiting. Third, if you are going to Europe, apply for your ETIAS at least 30 days before you travel. Do not wait until the week of your flight. While most approvals happen in minutes, if you are flagged for a manual review, it can take up to 30 days. Another crucial tip for 2026 is the passport card versus passport book distinction. For domestic travel, a passport card is a fantastic and cheaper alternative to a full booking and is fully Real ID compliant. However, if you are a senior who enjoys cruises, you must be careful. While a passport card is often sufficient for closed-loop cruises starting and ending in the U.S., it will not help you if you have a medical emergency and need to fly home from a foreign port. In 2026, the emergency repatriation rules have tightened, and the airlines will not let you board an international flight back to the U.S. with just a passport card. For the sake of your safety and your wallet, always travel with the full passport book. The 2026 landscape is all about digital identity. The passport is no longer just a piece of paper. It is a key that unlocks a series of digital gates. For the senior traveler, this can feel cold and intimidating, but there is a silver lining. These systems are designed to be faster and more secure once you are in them. The goal of the 2026 rules is to move people through airports without the need for constant human intervention. If your documents are in order, you will find that you spend much less time standing in lines and more time enjoying your destination. The key is just making sure that you aren't the one caught in the legacy system trap. We are also seeing a rise in passport scams in 2026 because the rules have become more complex. Many third-party websites are popping up, claiming to expedite your ETIAS or your renewal for a massive fee. Please only use official government websites, those ending in .gov for the U.S., or the official European Union portals. These third-party sites often just take your information and file the same form. You could have filed yourself, but they charge you 3 times as much and, in some cases, steal your identity. In this new high-tech era, your passport data is more valuable than your credit card number. Protect it fiercely. As we move further into 2026, we might see even more changes regarding health passports or the integration of vaccination records into the biometric chip. While that hasn't become a universal requirement yet, the infrastructure is being laid. The most successful travelers this year will be those who stay flexible and stay informed. The set it and forget it mentality of the 1990s and 2000s travel is officially dead. You need to be checking your travel requirements every time you book a trip, even if you just went to the same place last year. The new normal of 2026 travel isn't about making things harder. It's about making things digital. For some, that's a welcome change. For others, it's a source of anxiety. But by taking the steps we've discussed, renewing early, checking for the 6-month rule, ensuring your ETIAS is sensed, and keeping your documents in pristine condition, you can navigate these changes with confidence. You've worked hard for your retirement and your travel time. Don't let a clerical error or an outdated document be the reason you miss out on making memories with your loved ones. I want to hear from you. Have you had any experience with the new next generation passports yet? Or have you run into issues with the ETIAS application? Every story you share helps someone else in this community avoid the same mistake. Let's use the comments section as a resource for each other. What is the one thing you are most worried about with these new rules? Or perhaps you found a trick to making the renewal process easier? Share your thoughts below. And let's make sure everyone in our traveling family gets to their destination safely and on time.